2, 1. It's loading. Every time. Now we should be live. So, hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in for our AMA today with NFA Labs, NFA.ai. Today we have Reality Bytes and Bumba. They will be speaking about their project. We'll ask some questions back and forth. Thank you, chat, and thank you very much for the words. Feel free to ask any kind of questions during the AMA, and we'll also speak about every kind of product they have. First, Reality Bytes, Bumba, feel free to introduce yourselves, and then let's go first over the project, over every kind of topic you want to talk about, and then we'll dig a bit deeper and explain to the listeners on how they can gain advantage by buying and using your product.
Sure.
Well, hello.
You go, Bumba.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us. Reality, you want to start?
I can definitely start.
Get in there.
Get in there. My name is Reality Bites. I am essentially a community representative, AMA host, and have been alongside NFAi since inception, which seems like forever ago. But I think it was somewhere in January. Personally, I've been in the crypto world for just around 24 months, and now do it full time. So essentially, I come from a long sales background. I've been in the retail on the floor, speaking to customers for years and years and years. And I found that crypto is my new passion, and passion because A, I love it, and B, because it is just an insane place. And I've been lucky enough to become part of NFAi and the team, most recently as well. And yeah, I mean, what we've got to offer is very exciting. It's very different, and we're really excited to tell you all about it. So over the next half an hour or an hour, we'll be telling you about our utilities and essentially our what we've got to offer and why, of course, you should come and have a look at us.
Well, hi everyone. I did not start in sales, so that was awesome as always. Reality. Yeah. So myself and Reality were part of a team called NFAi or NFA Labs. And yeah, myself, I started in the banking industry. My background is finance economics, um, uh, specifically debt capital markets. It's probably the biggest bank in the world was one, and a couple others. And yeah, I came into crypto pretty early. I was an avid gamer as a kid, and as a kid, you don't really have much money, but you want to level up your characters. And I was able to find my way to Litecoin and Bitcoin, and that's how I got my start. Then took a break. Didn't really think too much of it. Should have saved those, honestly. Now looking back, but here I am now. Got back into crypto in my master's program. I was doing it part time, and I was sitting bank one day and I was going, how do I replace myself? And that journey brought me to the blockchain, and the joys of the blockchain, and the pain also along the way. Other than that, in the crypto industry, I've been heavily involved since I would say early 2021. I started with Shib, was an admin there. Worked very hard, learned a lot from those guys, and from there, kind of went on my own kind of journey and learned more about the DeFi space because, of course, that's more related to what I understand. And yeah, started this project with just a couple of friends, couple of nerds, and we looked at the industry and said, what's missing, what's needed, and that's where we kind of got our start. So here we are. Thank you so much for having us.
Of course, thank you very much for the intro. And now let's dig deeper into what your products are, what you've built, and show everyone why it's a very interesting project going forward.
Of course, of course. So I think that the best way to kind of start this is this panel right here on our website. I would bring up our white paper, which is our old V1, and we have a medium that's kind of our V1.5, and we're going into our 2 pretty soon. But basically, what we are is we try to bring creative products to DeFi. And the philosophy that I have is that DeFi is a mirror of, well, the crypto industry should be a mirror of the real world, but when it comes to DeFi, especially for it to work for it to be applicable to everyday life, it has to be a mirror of what's on the outside. So, as I said before, we all sat around and said, "What's missing?" And the biggest thing was hedge funds, and the ability for individuals to benefit from both long and short movements in the market. And so that's what brought us on this journey. And as what we have here is our full ecosystem thus far that we've announced. And Athena has launched, and we're just doing some upgrades on the dashboard in the background, and some upgrades to Athena. But Athena is our main pull right now, our main SBU, and that is our an AI neural net AI is what it's called, as opposed to machine learning. One of the areas you've heard about. I think we're the only neural net trader in, or at least in our market cap, you would so say small caps. And what it does is that it makes decisions that kind of mirror how a human being makes decisions. So when you are looking at a trade and you have your full screen up, you make a decision, and some people call it experience, but what it is you're prioritizing the signals that you're getting. And so neural net allows you to do this by putting through different nodes. So you have your input nodes, you have your hidden layer, which makes decisions, and then your output layer, which executes your decision. And so there's a pretty cool videos if you ever want to learn more about neural nets. The one of the I always tell people to go find. There's one about neural nets learning to play Mario. That's a really good one if you want to just get a quick primer on how that works. Over and over again, it learns, and makes decisions better each time. And so that's what we started with. And Athena is going to be multiple algo. So one thing a lot of people that are listening here that are supporters, thought that it's going to be three. No, it's going to be way more than three. We have to have a minimum of three to have a proper hedge, within the AI side. And so our first three are going. There's one that's out now that's quantitatively based. We call it Baby Athena. Then we're going to have a sentiment based analysis AI, and that makes decisions. ChatGPT, I think, announced something like this after us, but cool, whatever. But they make decisions. It makes decisions based on Twitter and Facebook and all social media. Because one thing that's interesting about especially crypto is that crypto people love to talk. They love to talk about whatever crypto they're in, and so it's a lot of rich data there that you can actually make um, actual trades from. And there's academic research behind this, and actually we love academic research, and that's what we've based everything we've done on. And the third one is we'll say grown up Athena, which is a combination of the two. And then we move over to Canis. Canis is the lending protocol that we've announced. We noticed that there was a need within the Shibarium ecosystem, the Shib ecosystem, for lending. Shib accounts for, I think last time I checked, Shib alone was about $8 or $9 billion. And then you add on Leash and you add on Bone, and then it's going to grow, of course, with Shibarium. Got to say that for my dogs over at Shib, but yeah, it's a very big and growing ecosystem. But for some reason, traditional lenders, well, not even traditional DeFi lenders, sorry, they're not traditional yet, avoid this whole ecosystem, despite the fact that volatility on the actual main shitcoin has come down a lot, right? But they make the excuse that it's volatility, but it's just an LTV mathematical problem. So we're going to be trying to provide this lending for the Shibari ecosystem and for the Shib ecosystem itself, wherever they may be, because that allows it's a catalyst for growth of this L2, and any L2 that grows rapidly. If you notice, lending is a kind of the infrastructure that kind of drives the catalyst for growth, because it allows people to park their funds for tax purposes or whatnot, and still be able to invest in smaller projects. Then next we move over to Hecate, which I'm very excited about, and that's our insurance SVU. And so this is something that we also saw a need where we want to be able to help in our own little way to bring full adoption to the crypto industry. And a lot of people have tried insurance type plays, but the way that we're doing it is different. There's no premiums. How we've done it is it's funded not just through projected Athena profits, but also in a very creative way that allows us to scale up and add other tokens within this. But at the end of the day, what we've done is we've strapped it up to a DAO, which was the robots, which was what we call our community, that would make the decisions on allowing people to get their claims from a pool. And so we'll get back into that later. But these right here are our main SPUs. Val, do you want to jump in?
Thank you very much for the overview. So, what I want to ask is, I mean, we will dig deeper into each topic, I think, but just out of curiosity, also for the community now. So, the Athena part, I think, is live already and working,
Correct.
and the Canis
One
and
of them,
he,
yep.
one of them, the first one, right? The quant-based.
Yes, the first one was.
Athena Alpha, yep.
Exactly. And Canis and Hecate is not live yet, but is
Not
in the
yet.
making, right?
Exactly.
What's the approximate estimate? Because regarding Canis, especially regarding the Lightning protocol, I'll be honest with you, you are absolutely right that a lot of DeFi protocols have avoided Shibarium. I think it's mainly due to the initial initial thoughts of how Shiba worked, right? And they don't take them maybe that seriously. However, I think that someone building in Shibarium and allowing people to tap into that new or different kind of potential is very important. Also, very important to understand for everyone listening and the communities that's here. And at the same time, the insurance part, right? This, as you said, there's no premium on it. So it sounds very appealing to people. So now I think we'll go deeper into each product. I just wanted to make sure that the listeners understand that, there's various innovative developments ongoing that will help grow your ecosystem. So feel free to continue.
Reality,
Sure.
would you like to jump in?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we want to talk a little bit more about Athena. I think what you're seeing on the screen here is our Athena dashboard. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Bumba, this is the updated version.
Yes, that's correct. And
Okay.
there's still things that our community would notice that there's a lot of changes that we've made, and we listened to our community and a lot of the suggestions that were made from our first instance, and so we've added a lot in the past couple of weeks, I'd say.
Hmm. Yeah. So at the moment, you're seeing Athena-A. Now, Athena-A is Athena Alpha, and as described earlier, she is designed in order to trade based on um, neural net. So decisions based on many, many different indicators at the moment. You can see there's all the buys and sells and losses and stop loss and shorts and things on the screen. This is all updated. Actually, recently, I've not even seen this exact screen. Is this actually live yet, Bumba? This one?
Yeah. You can tell how secretive we are,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, the only the algo team has been and part of the web and development team has been able to kind of see this, and so this is kind of like a little bit of a reveal. We had a couple of videos,
Love it.
but right, what we have here, our whole goal in doing this is we call it internally project homepage. We wanted to have we're thinking, okay, what would make Athena someone's homepage? And part of that is it's not taking it away from product focus, but more information focus. So of course we have a little bit of aggregation of data. Trend, this is actually a little bit of a little taste of our next Athena, just on the sentiment analysis side. We can't explain that yet until we put out our white paper, but here we have some aggregation on data. So we have of course, our open positions, our total closed trades since we started, which is actually quite crazy. We've put up 168 trades. When did we launch? Like right before the start of the month, and we 168 trades, 4.85% profit today. Could always change. And then our last our volume since start has been $6.4 million, and we've only loaded the 25K of the 50K in, and I think for the first week we were running with 5K. So that just shows how much volume we put up. And I think our fees right now are about $2,000. So it's something that a human can't really accomplish, but we that's something we're really proud of, because that allows us to take, we projected a lot more on the expenses side, so we can put more into the ecosystem with these expenses down. Next you have here is your everyone knows the fear and greed indicator. We have this here, of course, because it's something that we want people to be able to make a decision on their own on trading. after looking at the screen, as opposed to just copy trading, right? And same thing with the long and short ratio here, just to show where the global position is when it comes to BTC. Of course, we put BTC only here because everything kind of has a very high positive, well, not everything, but most has a very high positive correlation given the dominance factor of BTC. And if we scroll down here, we're able to see the chart. This has changed. Before it was just a P&L chart, which was kind of useless for people, but now they can see where longs have been put in, where shorts have been put in. If there's a stop loss, shorts, see take profits. This was pretty fun. We had some updates this morning and some testing, so you can see this little cluster of things going on. And then yeah, we apparently we worked it out, because now if you see we put we have now a proper dynamic trailing stop loss, and we've taken our profits. And I think there's still one more row of profit taking that has to happen, or Athena will change decisions. But on this instance, this is a non laggy, well, not laggy, but non what do you call it? We have kind of a block on for about like a couple minutes, so that people can't just copy trade. So this one doesn't have it because it's mine, but there's there for everyone else. If you're looking to copy trade, we're going to make it very hard for you because of the legality of that. And then down here we have our transactions. So you can see right here exactly all the trades that have been done. And this page itself is kind of the base of Athena. You'll be able to access all of them here, all the instances that are available. There'll be more here. And yeah, I think she just came out of a trade. Cool. So yeah, this is that just happened right live. That's really awesome. But this is the base, and this is going to be expanded, and this is the home of everyone who is interested in the Athena side.
Exactly. So if we can stay on here, what I want to ask is 2 or 3 things that I got from also from friends that where I told them that we'll hold an AMA is how can they participate in this? I mean, they can use this for copy trading themselves, but is there an automated way that they can say, hey, we want to invest in your fund over there, direct money, and you do it for us, and you take performance and management fees?
That there's so many things illegal with that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know because of the custody part.
yeah, at least in in North America, and
Mhm,
Europe, but that's not something we're going to try to do, because we do not have the money for that legal fight. But yeah,
mhm,
it's how you can participate in our ecosystem is quite simple. So buying the NFA token has a tax. At this moment, it's 6 in, 6 out. And what's interesting about that is that a traditional hedge fund, you provide your money. So you say you are a high net worth individual and you need $1 million buy-in. You provide your $1 million, and the hedge fund takes your million and trades that million for you, and then gives you back the profits, and then eventually gives you back your principal. And this is what's cool about DeFi, is that because of what we have set up and what we have available to us, we can mirror a hedge fund model without the associated risk of giving all of your principal over. We don't ask you to deposit funds. We fund all of this just from taxation of the on volume. And so essentially your risk is your 6% in and 6% out on trading the token. And we assume all of the risk, and then what we do is we provide value back to our holders. Right now, we haven't started our staking protocol yet.
mhm,
So at the moment, what we will be doing is buying and burning, and we've done that throughout our testing phase. Every time we've gotten wins, we just bought and burned, and I think we're way up in burns. I think like 6 figures in burns now. And we what we're going to do next is we're going to have the staking protocol, and that will allow individuals that, if they wish to, they can stake, and there will be a portion of funds that will be allocated to that. And how that is decided will be decided by the DAO. There
mhm,
won't be an allowance for a 0 or 100 scale on whether it's going to be buy or burns, because there are some individuals in certain jurisdictions, like the US, for instance, that there are some states that you can't really stake, other countries that you can't stake. And so we have to allow the burns to continue forever in perpetuity. So either the DAO will be able to make a decision on a ratio that will be 0 to 100, But that's we feel is the most decentralized and fair way for everyone to benefit. And so yeah, it's a cat. Our whole thing is that we're a business, and businesses run on cash flow, and so our cash flow is the taxation, and
Hmm.
your comfort as a holder is the taxation, given that your risk is limited to tax, because you're allowed to, even the staking isn't locked. You can get out and sell anytime you want if we're not performing. And as you buy and sell, it's continuously gives us the funds to keep building and build better and fix our problems if we have any.
So I have a question regarding the staking because that's a very fair point. When you, let's say, I come in, I buy $10,000 worth of your token, and then I stake it. The staked amount, is that the right? Will that give you the right to use a part of the staked amount for Athena, or is it just to earn more returns on the profits you do with Athena?
Yes,
Uh,
simply for returns. It's not. We do not, and you can see on chain, we will never have the ability to touch that.
All right, perfect.
correct.
It was just important to understand because I was just, maybe I'm thinking out of the blue, but I was thinking of ways of how people could, contribute without you being the custodian, so to say, to raise the to raise the cash that's used for the trading part, which will then, in absolute numbers, also raise the profits. The profit might be 5 to 6%, but if you have more to work with, it will also be more on the earn side, absolute wise. I was just thinking of ways
No,
on
no,
how
that's a
that
that's a
could be
that's a great
possible.
point. And we released a pro forma, a couple of performance, couple of scenarios that kind of explain how we break out our cash flow. So um, all of the SBUs that I mentioned to you are designed to cash flow, just like any other business. So we rely not just Athena is one small part, I'd say. Just she's wonderful, but she's just a part of the ecosystem. And we of course hope and we work hard so that she's cash flowing. But Canis, it would be a very high cash driver. I don't know if you noted looked into um, the uh, um, the revenues from lending protocols, Farouk?
Yes, the the revenues are 6, 7, 8 figures, depending on how successful you are. I know the lending protocol part is
Huge.
the most interesting part, actually. But why I'm focusing on this is I think many people that are a bit too lazy to do the trades themselves or do copy trading would like to automate that, and that's why I was kind of focusing on that part to see, okay, what kind of innovative ways we could
Well,
find
well,
to push that.
well. One thing we are looking at, which is kind of a gray area, is Telegram, being able to just have notifications on status of Athena. That is something that we've been looking into and discussing in depth. So won't make any promises, but that is something that allows us to tell you about what Athena's doing. Let's put it that
Exactly, I get it. That could be like an indicator. I mean,
way.
it's like having
Yeah,
these trading groups
just
with
not
their.
just a status update. That's all it is. All
Mm,
it
Yeah, I think that's
yeah.
fine. That should work legally.
I think everybody wants. I mean, everybody wants a trading bot. Yeah. If someone has created the best one in the world, including a neural net, and it trades on sentiment and it trades on, all of these different indicators, how do I get my hands on that? And the thing is, like Bomber said in the past, there's two things they could have done. They could have taken this and just ran with it for themselves, or they could have introduced it to the crypto community and created a decentralized hedge fund, which is exactly what's happened here. So, in order to become or to become part of it, and to obtain some of the share of how Athena works, Athena A, B, and C, because of course there are more. That there are three and there are more. So over time, these will be accelerated. How do I make money from this incredible trading bot? Is to invest into NFAi, and obviously the more that you stake, the returns are weighted based on how much you're staking. So, as you went into earlier, if there's a $10,000 purchase and you put in $10,000 worth of NFAi, At the moment, I think $10,000, whatever it. I don't know exactly the amount of NFAi that would be, but you would then be returned in ETH or USDT through the staking protocol. Once that's up and running, those returns would be fed into your wallet. Essentially, you'd be able to claim that as well. So that's how you benefit from being part of it. Everybody would love to just say, "Well, let me just have Athena, and then I can trade myself." Can I give you 500,000 and we can get more money going? But that's not kind of how it works. The whole plan is that as Bumba said, the tax money builds up a war chest, which is essentially what it is. That war chest is then allocated into each Athena on different decentralized exchanges. At the moment, it's running on DYDX, is what we're trading on, which is the biggest decentralized exchange currently. And when that trades, when it profits, at the moment until the DAO is created and the staking is created, all of those profits go to buy and burn. Now, if you own NFAi token, then of course that will then um, hypothetically increase the price of the token, reduce the supply, which is one of the main things is trying to create a supply squeeze as well. So if you want to become part of it, everybody has the availability to do so, which you cannot do in a centralized hedge fund. You simply buy some NFAi, stake that when it's available, or hold for the moment. And the whole point is we are trying to, as I say, reduce the supply. We're building the DAO, and then we will start to create an option for those holders to make a decision whether the profits then go towards buy and burning, or of course returning the profits in ETH and USD to the holders.
So just a question here regarding the staking. Because you're building a DAO foundation, so to say, will people need to lock their NFA to get voting power on different kind of topics, maybe on the lending protocol? Did you think about that? Or is it really simple staking to earn more tokens and get a higher revenue share of the profits?
If I may. So there will be. It's almost like a no. You won't need to lock for any particular amount of time. However, because we'll be running a minimum of 3 versions of Athena, which will be again Athena Alpha, Gamma, and Beta and Gamma, you will have an option to go out of one version of Athena and stake into another. So if one is, let's say underperforming or not performing how you'd like, you can then change to stake into the other version of Athena, because you will be pulling profits from that one. So no, you won't have to lock. And correct me if I'm wrong, Bumber, on that, but you will be able to change at any time which one you want to stake into at any
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And
The only place that you will see any sort of locks would be within the Canis protocol, because it's lending. You have to have a stable liquidity pool to be able to lend. So there, of course, that's where it's the norm. That's where you'd see it.
Mm-hmm.
But within Athena, no, there's no need. And it all, again, so my background, again, economics, right? So love me some game theory, and it's and so the whole thing, if you notice, when you talk about, do you have to lock for the DAO or do you have to lock for anything? This it's kind of like a game, where you have all of these opportunities to earn, right? And then you have the DAO to make decisions. And you're going to have to do your cost benefit analysis to go, how much can I take out at this point to make a decision on something? Is it more valuable for me to be a part of the DAO making decisions, or to be earning revenue, or should I split? And we also have a max wallet at 2%, I believe. And it again, that limits the ability for individuals to take advantage of the system. But at the end of the day, it's also designed that if someone does try to do that, it benefits the holders. And this is something that which I don't know if many projects do this, but we released, of course, a little bit of redacted, but our internal projections and targets, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
um, as you can see, your question before on funding. So we have our 3 Athenas, or base Athenas, and we have Canis, our lending protocol, and we haven't even we put Hecate as an expense item at this point. This will change. And there will be kind of a release in our white paper to understand that. But what we've done is we've basically taken a fraction of the monthly revenues of the lending protocols that are out there, so Aave, Comp, MakerDAO, and then in this case, we kind of have what I call kind of dumb Athena. This is a day zero. So at this point, we've put out everything that we've announced, and so by this point, Athena should be fine, and we should understand how she works, and she should understand how the market works. Same with Beta, and the same thing with Gamma, right? But
Mhm.
in this, we pretended that at that point we're still struggling, right? And so we're struggling, and limping along, but Athena is still learning throughout this year. And as if you understand, for some people who are watching, they're like, "Oh my god, spreadsheet." So let's just get down, just get down to business. So
Exactly.
all this is done. There's assumptions in here. If you want to learn more about the assumptions, come into our Telegram, come into the Discord. Probably don't tag me because I'm working very hard. But I'm kidding. Of course, I love talking. But if you come down to here, what this means at the end of the day, with all of our burns and the Dow decisions and our assumption of locked tokens for insurance, our low case target is 26% per year, which is not bad, right? Compared to our IRL financial products, right? Our mid case,
Exactly.
exactly, and our mid case again, all these numbers. Let's go down to what everyone cares about. Mid case is our target, which is 244% at the end of the day. I would say that we're target. We're as someone who has been in crypto a long time, has been in business. Take everything with a grain of salt. I would put us in between these two,
Mhm.
right? And then of course this everyone loves this one. I hate it. But this one is if we're perfect. Oh my god, we're just the best in the world. That's the high case. Please don't come to us if we don't make this and say you promised this. You heard me on many recordings say no, and we only put it out because people asked, they wanted to see our best case. So I like to do low mid best, and that's just a good practice. But I'd say we'd be between this range of
Mhm.
26% to 244, which is a healthy range to play in, and a very easy range, especially with all things firing. And so that's how we've accounted for no market externalities, so no trading externalities here. This is just based on utility. And if you notice, price today, yeah, well, it lines up 0.1. Just with utility, if we go to the low case, where does price go based on our assumptions on buyback burns, all that? Price ends up at 22 cents
Mhm.
here without anyone even buying. If no one buys, 56 cents in the mid case. And of course, with this one, price would be at $3.96. So you kind of understand why this is where we play. And I even avoid using this in marketing sheets. Like it's between here.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
one thing I want to add or ask is, when the staking comes, what are the will the people who stake get NFA tokens, or will they just earn a profit share in
No,
USDT or
no, I hate that. No, no, no. We're not the type of so why like it's like giving you like I don't know, like Disney money. Like it doesn't
exactly?
make any sense. So all of our tokens are in circulation, and we're trying to reduce them um as much as we can. Produce this supply squeeze. But when we're trading, we are the trading remittances are in USDC or
Hmm.
ETH. And so
That's
we're
perfect.
going to aim for ETH just because if we add ETH variability to this model, I'd pull my hair out. But it's we're going for USDC or any stable, and that's how we'd be paying out our robots. And so this I think that again is something that's different about us compared to other projects in that they go, hey, yeah, you're earning money because we gave you our token off
Exactly, and
FTX.
that's not the
But like
real.
this doesn't work. It's not like we're against that, right? So the whole reason this was started was because of all the crap that we saw in the industry, and that is one thing we truly hate. And so that is not the aim, and that is not something we plan on doing. As
All
tempted it
right.
might be for a dev, but no, it's
But if
Look.
I may,
Mhm.
spreadsheet is for many people. It's a lot to take in, and our CTO actually created a calculator. Do you mind jumping onto that? And you got access to that, Bomba.
1 second. Good call.
So basically, the thing is, when you're trying to learn about a token and why should I invest, what's in it for me, I think the most important thing is, if I'm buying it, what am I expecting to get back? You know, the complications and the technology and the technicalities of everything in the background sometimes doesn't mean a lot for people, and particularly considering a lot of our investors are, of course, degens. Obviously, we're spreading our wings to trying to, um, you know, grasp bigger investors and things like that. But ultimately, there's a big percentage of people that, excuse me, are degens. I want to put in $10,000. How many tokens will that get me, and how much will I earn per year? Which is the most important thing, because that's why we've created this ecosystem, is to give back to people who are buying NFAi. So there's been a calculator that's been introduced, which you can actually access on our website, which is NFA.ai /calculator. And you can see here, you've got a token amount of 1,000. So if we just throw in, let's say, what's our 50,000, which is what we call a salmon or something like that. So you'll see here, if you have 50,000 tokens, which at the moment I think is somewhere around about 2 ETH or 3 ETH or something like that. On a mid case, now we're aiming, as Bumba said, between a worst case and a mid case. So an average between 14,000 is about 7,000 a year. So if you own 50,000 tokens and we're running on a worst case to mid case, your income per year, simply by holding 50,000 tokens, would be approximately, oh, there you go, current value in tokens, 5,000. Wasn't a bad guess, actually, 2.5 ETH. 2.5 ETH. Would be somewhere in the vicinity of about $7,000 per year, based in USD stable, or of course Ethereum, and that's based on our NFA price at being only 10 cents. Now I think our all-time high is somewhere around 30. It's
I
10
want to say
cents.
29.
29 cents. Yep. Of course, that's going to increase. So at the moment, we're at 10 cents and we're looking at 7,000 a year. Okay. So if you invest 5,000 now and you hold that, what we're expecting between a worst and mid case is that each year, based on nobody else, no price increase on the token, nothing else going on, that you will return somewhere in the vicinity on average between worst and mid of about 7,000 per year. So you can go into the calculator, put in how many tokens you own, and that'll obviously spit out to you exactly. Now, on a best case scenario, again, no promises on that. It's 273,000 a year. Even if we took an average of all those three, so you're looking at 273 and 12 is 285, plus that's 286 divided by 3. It's somewhere around about 95,000 if my maths isn't
Yeah,
is
that's
correct.
correct.
The math is math today.
Yeah, man. That's the one thing I've got on my side. That's about 95,000 a year. Yeah. From a 5,000 investment currently at 10 cents for NFAi. And don't forget, we've only just released Athena. Obviously, this is based on Athena ABC, Canis and Hecate running, which is obviously imminent. But you can see the kind of returns that you're expecting to get. And the
Well,
spreadsheets, it's a
well,
lot to
even
take
yeah, I
in.
know it's a lot, and thank God you're here because I'm the worst for that. Even like just looking at the average here of worst case and mid case, right? What you're looking at 7K. That's over. That's over and above your principal.
Yeah.
Based on the days year projection, and that's just getting in between literally this line between these two numbers, right? So, it's kind of very very amazing to see
Yes, and
what the
mhm,
potential of
Mm.
something like this.
exactly. And the part why I asked about the staking is also for the listeners. You're not, most of the DeFi protocols, to incentivize the users to provide LP or do any other type of stuff, they give out, they mint tokens. The emission rate is very high at the beginning, goes lower during the time, devalues their token value, causing inflation, of course. And with your concept, what I see is we're talking about deflation, squeezing, so to say, the supply. and reducing the amount of tokens in general, and at the same time providing the users revenue in form of stablecoins or ETH, if I'm not mistaken, allowing your token to grow sustainably as long as Athena, for example, works and is in profit. This is very important for everyone to understand. That's why I wanted to connect the staking part together with what you're showing right now. And my next question, because that's also a bit connected to this, is the lending protocol, right? I mean, as soon as that's up and running and you bootstrap liquidity and get some trust in the Shibarium ecosystem, you will be able to generate a lot of revenues. I project the revenues for NFA Labs will be very good. So are you planning on also using a part of the revenues of the lending protocol to supply, to raise the trading volume on the Athena side, or how can we, connect those dots?
Well, the connection actually is quite interesting, and if anyone is from the finance and Ferg, of course, you understand this is that money market signals are very, very, very clear within the crypto industry, especially. So, if the price of BTC is about to go up, if you look at Aave, if you look at Maker, if you look at Comp, you look at the lending that is happening, you'll notice an increase in the amount of people that are taking out loans against these assets, and this the reverse happens also. So these little things, that's just a general way of saying it, but these certain money market signals can be fed back into Athena. That is part of the reason that, well, it's a very big reason. Other than of course, we want to help Jabarian, but that why Athena is built the way that she is, because it's easy to add those signals as and scale up and add money market signals from our own lending to understand where the market is going, or help us understand rather.
Yeah, that's perfectly explained. It was just more also to understand the, revenue part. When you generate revenue
Oh,
from
REST
the
revenue.
lending
Yes, of course.
protocol,
Oh, yes,
will
yes,
you
yes,
use that for Athena also to
yes, yes. So
raise
how?
the revenue share for the users? Just to
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
understand that.
Yes, yes, no, that's absolutely correct. And so all of this is how we've modeled our ecosystem is that everything leads back to one token. Everything leads back to NFAi. So anything that we build is built with the purpose of reducing supply and bringing value back to the holders. And so yes, revenues are put back into the ecosystem and will become part of the Athena trading pool, staking, and things like that.
Correct.
Perfect. So, no, that's also very important for people to understand because, you know, you're not causing inflation. Instead, you're going the deflation route, which helps raise the token value. And at the same time, we're currently at a very close, let's say, not at the bottom. Maybe we'll dip further with ETH, but we're very close at the bottom. I would say that's my forecast. No financial advice. But from now on, as long as the bot is up and running, as long as the lending protocol is working and everything, is developed and is out there, it means that with Ethereum rising in price, it will also help, stabilize the token price and also further push it up because the underlying liquidity pool on, for example, on your token side is also pegged with ETH. So people have to understand that these numbers that you show are just the current status with the current ETH price pooled with the amount of tokens on Uniswap. So if the ETH price raises or does a 3x, your token will also do that, and at the same time, it will also cause a higher amount of, revenue due to how can I say, due to the peg to ETH. Am I
Sure.
correct on that?
You are the first person I think that we've talked to that has gotten exactly that, and I didn't have to say it first. It's yeah, we are hedging different with our SPUs in different ways. So lending moves in a different way than trading, and insurance, of course, and safety moves in a different way than both of those. And the use of lending and the ability for it to kind of supercharge growth in a sense is exactly, it's spot on. That's exactly what we're doing here. And one thing that I always say is that I always wonder why project leaders within the crypto space, and I think it's generally because it's mostly computer science guys, and that will build one utility and then move on to another token, and then build another utility, move on to another token, where you can do a lot more for your community if you build all of that utility and point it back towards one token. And so that's what we're trying to, I call it kind of like the Elon model. Tesla, you can't really get a piece of Solar City, and you can't get a piece of SpaceX from owning Tesla. But if you own Amazon stock, you own everything, right? So that's we try to be more of an Amazon model as opposed to a Tesla model here.
Exactly. That's why I really like what you're building, and at the same time, I think our community should really look deeper into it and join your Telegram and Discord, and also just ask questions if you have any questions. Everyone who's listening. Now, maybe could we tap into the? Do you have anything to show for the lending protocol part, or maybe the insurance part that you want to talk about?
No, well, right now, we're still building our white paper. I think we shared a little teaser of kind of the wireframe or mock-up for our lending protocol. But other than that, I can pull something up. 1 second. Just give me 1 second here.
Mm-hmm.
Right up.
I think while you're doing that, it's important to talk about, yes, it is pegged to Ethereum, so of course this affects the price, etc. However, currently we have 2.94% left in Uniswap. That's the supply that's remaining. After that, that's it. So we've got Athena A, B, and C now. Until the staking is in place, and we have an option to bring profits back to owners, or stake, buy and burn, all of the profits are going to be burning this. Now, that doesn't even take into account Canis or Hecate, or Hecate, however you want to say. It doesn't take any of that into account. So people that are staking their tokens, obviously that locks them away. People that are staking for Hecate, which we'll talk about a little bit later, those tokens also are locked away. And then of course we've got Canis, which is a monster on its own. You know, so I think supply squeeze is a big thing to actually focus on, because there isn't really a great deal left, and the utilities haven't really even kicked into gear yet. And that is a big factor, because supply squeeze is a huge effect on the ultimate price, the effect on the whole entire ecosystem. How much the token is worth, and then all of that drives back to how much am I earning because of how much that tokens that I own, that I'm staking. So it's a big point for me, because 3% is very, very small. I think there's 303,000 based on the current value of tokens left. Once they're gone, once they're burnt, once they're turned around, that's going to change the whole dynamic of everything that we're doing. So we're only running then based on what's available in circulation. 3.8% has been burned, which is close to nearly $400,000 worth. And that's with Athena hasn't even been running properly as yet. And I think Bumba even alluded to dumb Athena. And Athena is just starting to ramp up, and there's a few updates on that, which the community are going to find out about imminently, in relation to how she's trading. That's going to change that as well. And so all of that is coming back to burning tokens, supply squeeze, and of course, increasing the value and increasing the profits that are coming back to the owners. So when you start going into that calculator and you own 50,000, 100,000, 200, or 500,000, or of course 2 million, which is the maximum, you're going to start seeing those returns dramatically increasing, in turn and imminently. I mean, this is certainly something that's very close down the track. So I just wanted to point that out, of course, because that's something that really excites me.
Thank you very much for that. I think Bumba, you want to show something? Just
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was just on
ah,
mute, but I just wanted to
okay.
jump in and say, yeah, just on that supply squeeze thing, it was actually interesting. I think when we were pretty close to ATH, what did we hit? It was like 0.84% or something left
Yep.
at just under 30 mil. I've never seen that before, and it was cool to see kind of how the supply squeeze kind of accelerated us from 20 to almost 30 very very quickly. And yeah, it's a very very good point. So if we look at this, this is kind of from our as I said, white paper 1.5. It's called the third option, tertiary optio, and we kind of discussed basically why we did it. What we're fighting against within the crypto industry, things and forces that are trying to ruin decentralization, and this we thought was something that would be necessary. So we basically right now, I think the only thing that's released on our full ecosystem. This is a basic understanding of how this works, right? So we have our phase two, which is Canis. And we have our ecosystem fund, which is how we can grow the ecosystem dev costs, business costs, whatnot. And if you notice here, how it works is that staking with Athena, we've heavily weighted revenues towards LP staking. If you notice, our LP, it's not Pepe low, but it's low enough to account for to allow for a lot of volatility. That's by design. But as we grow, we want to have more stable LP. And so we incentivize individuals to stake LP. And that will carry on into Hecate and will carry on into Canis to allow for more stability in price and more of a larger pool for people to trade in, where single staking will get less. And through the voting, this is how they did, buybacks and burns are decided. And from that, once that's sent to the treasury and done, we put it back into this investment pool, right? So again, go through here. Alpha staking for each as opposed to one pool, which is one thing that we really wanted to avoid because we again wanted to gamify, so that if you had it all in one pool, it's kind of a net average of all the Athenas. Whereas if you're in one Athena and you look over and you see another Athena is really doing well, you'll start moving around. And we want to make sure that our community has a lot of opportunity within the ecosystem. But yeah, this will be probably the last time you guys see this in an AMA because white paper's coming out's a lot bigger, right? But this is if you wanted to get a quick overview of what we're building, this is a perfect example here.
That looks very good. That actually helps everyone to understand how the cash flow is being managed and also gives clarity on where the focus of the revenue share will be. So people have to, they can move around those three different pools. That's up to them. But it's also nice, as you mentioned, game theory. Everyone has to find their own strategy and be able to use their own, let's say, know-how to say, okay, wait, it is performing better. I have to move it around myself because you're not taking any custody over the LP at all. So it's completely, fully decentralized. And that's why it's important for everyone to understand that anything you do is legally safe and in a green zone, I would say. Yeah, this part I think is very important for everyone listening because usually there's protocols that unfortunately are using some different kind of mechanics that are kind of in the gray zone or even in the red zone, I would say.
Yeah, gray red is really putting it lightly, but yeah, this is, and we're a very transparent team, and I think you've realized that too, is that we we try to give as much information as we can, with of course we being mindful of corporate intelligence, right? But when it comes to how we work, we're not really. This is something that everyone should see, right? And again, and even explaining why is this not pooled? Who's going to get more LP or single? And it's again our LP, which is another point, and is it's burned. I think it's still there's what, like 99 and a half years left on that LP reality. Is that correct?
Just had to unmute myself. I think so. Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
was for
so
your grandkids.
yeah. So our grandkids are going to rug, and that's the plan. So in 99 and a half years, our reality junior, and Bumba junior, will be running. But yeah, but this is exactly how we plan to kind of keep growth and stay within the DeFi side of things, is by incentivizing our community to help and build and support our ecosystem. And that's our hope, and that's how we've aligned ourselves throughout this. And and again, transparency. That's the biggest. I'd say the biggest part of our value prop is that we I say it all the time. Is like we can succeed or fail, but we try, and we will do it with honor. So that's how we've always done everything.
Yeah, I see. I mean, that's one of your biggest USP, that everything that's being done is transparent. No one can say, "Hey, you're hiding something." I mean, it's all on chain first. Second, you're showing it even with your internal um, internal money flow, and everything's transparent in a way that anyone who really wants to understand can understand it. It's not that big of a rocket science. It's just people need to take time. And what I recommend everyone, if they want to go through those articles, if you don't understand the concept, take it out, copy paste into ChatGPT and write, explain this to me in simpler terms. What does this mean? Explain the words. This way you will learn, you will understand, and then you will realize, wait, this is actually quite interesting. I can really earn some real yield without having token emissions, like these magic money, so to say. Real yield that will raise the value of what I invested, and at the same time build up a portfolio of NFA token paired with the stablecoin emissions that they give you with the revenue share. So this is very important for everyone to understand. Then maybe what I wanted to ask at this point, because there's something that was in my mind all the time, is a lot of DeFi protocols, how they prosper and grow. I mean, you're not the typical DeFi. I don't want to compare to that, but because it's in that subsector, I would like to go into the detail of what kind of potential like collaborations or partnerships could other projects look into with you? Like, how could you, like, if someone comes and says, "Hey, I would like to collaborate or partner up with you," in which ways could they do that? And what are you looking for in those kind of things?
I'll jump in for a little bit, and reality will jump in after, because he does a lot of our partnership too. And but one thing, we have a lot of partners, which is really nice. If anyone knows about OXO, the auditing AI, we've got OXE, which just joined on yesterday, which is encryption tools. We've got Astral, who helped us out with our one of our mixers. We've got like YDF, who helped us with our OTC platform. DYDX, who, helped us build this whole thing, and allowed us to trade in their platform, and even did an AMA with our first AMA with us. And then of course you've got a Shibarium, right? And the guys over there. Like, we've got one of the things that we really 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 love about our project, and the way that we think and the way that we look at the space, is that we value collaboration over competition. We believe that the space is too small and it's too early for everyone to fight amongst each other. There's so much money to be made. There's so many people to bring into cryptocurrency, and it's a waste of time to be bickering. And so when we look for projects, first of all, we look for like-minded projects that are they're working hard. We love if they're audited. They are a long track record, fresh ideas, and seriousness, bringing seriousness to the space. And these things have brought on some very very cool people into our kind of sphere, and have taught us a lot and helped us in as we grow and figure out how best we can serve our community, and also the DeFi community and crypto community at large. And I'd say that's basically our ethos, is just the collaboration over competition.
It's very hard to top that, to be fair. Um, but I think you're spot on. And I think one of the best things that we've done is bring in other projects, because it's given us exposure as well as to what we're kind of trying to do. And the goal is, of course, to create mass adoption, in the DeFi space and create a safer place, which leads us on, of course, to Hecate, which we'll talk about shortly. But some of these projects are really making a waves in the DeFi space. We've had lots of AMAs with these guys because I think it is, like Bumba said, important to share ideas between devs that we're all doing different things to some degree. Why not make us one big happy place, in the euphoria world? But why not do that? Why not onboard projects that are going to help us and onboard their community, and we become part of their community? Because ultimately, we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to make a better space. We're all trying to make it safer, and we're all, of course, trying to make investments a better thing and a safer place to do that. So it is important for us, of course, to onboard people like the ones that we have, and of course the ones that we have stood behind and that we've interviewed and spoken about. But yeah, Bumba's nailed it on the head, and of course Shibarium's a big part of what we're doing as well. And of course that the Shibarium and the Shiba Inu side of things are backing us, which is huge for us.
Yeah, absolutely huge, and they've embraced this from the start, and yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed about us, compared to other projects that I've either invested in or watched, is that we kind of I don't know, we're very very chill is the word I'd say, is that, and people like that, and we are very very willing to help and share information where we can, and just by doing that, like we've gotten so many tips, and people have just kind of lent their time and their utility in their own projects to prop us up and help our community. And it's super cool to see that kind of it's kind of like old school DeFi. I like to say we're new school, but it's kind of bringing back a little bit of the old school back in the beginning, where everyone there's only a couple players, so everyone really worked with each other, right? And if you look at that, a lot of these guys are now at the top, right? Because of that collaboration. You're one thing I always say is that with a chart, it'll pump, it'll dump. Community members might come and go, but the when the chart's down, it's your peers at the other products that really help you to not just for mental health or whatnot, but it's mostly to understand where you might improve. It's very easy to be in a project, and we kind of went through this a little bit, where you're looking inwards and you're not really in tune with your community and what your community needs. And it's very easy to kind of get a little bit of a disconnect, and it's your partners at these other projects that help you kind of get back on track and understand how to reconnect with your community and how to continuously bring value to them. And so it's invaluable, I think, for us, these partnerships that we have beyond just the utility that they bring to the token. To the project.
I couldn't agree more, because what I see in the last few months in DeFi is a lot of protocols started really partnering and helping each other. Really, this is so amazing to see, and it's important. You said it perfectly. At at points where you are blind, like where you feel blind and you just look at everything inwards, you might not see the pain points that arise. But someone else from outside that's partnered with you or says, "Hey, I want to help you. That's my idea. That's what's going wrong," could change the whole trajectory your project's taking. And I really love that part. Why I ask this question is also I talked to other protocols to held some AMAs, and every one of them, like you guys said, partnerships, real collaborations, not just partnerships to say, "Hey, we're partners on Twitter and it's a PR action," but rather really helping, having your Telegram groups, having your alphas, talking about, "Hey, we're doing this and this. What do you think? What's your opinion on that? How do you see that scaling?" Just to create new ideas, stay innovative, and further grow what everyone's building. As you said, we're still so early in this ecosystem. DeFi is so young compared to the TradFi market, and we have the potential to now build all together, grow, and at some point, of course, go into competition. But the cake is big, very big, and it's enough for everyone to grab a share. That's
Exactly,
that's
exactly.
what's
And
very important.
yeah, I mean, I've even had this discussion with there are other protocols on Chipper that offer lending, for instance, or want to offer lending, and there's other protocols out there that offer insurance or want to offer insurance. And in one of my AMAs, I was talking about specifically those two things. I said it would be weird to have one bank or one insurance provider, right? Super weird. Like it's a monopoly is not the free market.
Exactly.
The free market is decentralization. So, in the name of the free market, we try to have that at the top of whatever we do. In that, we're here for a bigger reason.
I absolutely agree with you on this side. Really, that's for everyone listening. Don't think you're the only one building. Do not think that yes, you could do it. You could do it alone. You can be successful alone, but collaborating with really great minds brings more success to the whole space and helps us grow the whole ecosystem and the industry. And that's the ultimate goal, because we all know we're still very early, and the more time it takes, the better for us, because we can try out and fail and revamp and do it better next time, or change stuff, be agile, and adapt faster to different kind of changes. Yeah, with this, one question that I also want to add on top is, this is something I ask almost everyone, because whenever there's tech behind something that automatically works, or maybe DeFi lending protocols, insurance protocols, whatever, the security part is crucial, because once you lose that, once an exploit happens, something bad happens on your protocol, then it's very hard to get back on track, because people will not be able to give you a second chance, even though it might not be that bad. So how do you ensure um, that your platform, that your bot, everything works fine? I mean, yes, there are audits, of course, but just to elaborate on that side a bit more.
Yeah. So first of all, we have very, very talented devs led by our CTO Hermes, and we of course internally we do a lot of testing. I mean, people hate how much testing we do, I think, but for instance, like we even now just loading the components of Athena onto the instances that we aim to have running in perpetuity. We we're moving it from our lab, we call it quote unquote lab instances, onto live, and we're doing it extremely carefully in parts and testing each time to make sure with different scenarios to make sure that we're giving it the best that we can. When it comes to anything that a wallet connects to, we make sure that we either use code that has already been audited, or read only code, or we actually go and audit. We went ahead and with something that isn't really common these days, but we went and sprung for a full CERTIC audit of our token initially. It's very, very important for us to have the security. And when it comes to the lending side of things, there's a lot of so if we talk about the security side of things, we've been talking to I don't know if you know X Fund, but a very good friend who's one of the validators, known since the ship days, and another friend who I've met quite recently, who's also a validator. And we talk about the necessity of oracles for price,
Hmm.
because of flash loan attacks. So that is one thing that keeps me up at night as we're building and figuring out how we're going to do the lending side of things, is ensuring that we are uh, have a nice moat. You know what I mean? Have a good wall against these flash loan attacks. And then the other thing too that people I guess have not readily understood is that as a protocol, we also would will be trying to pay into the insurance pool, and we'll approach if there's anything that happens. Hopefully nothing, but if it were gone, because we're awesome and someone else is taking over and needs to get some sort of there's a situation, they are able to approach the DAO, which is a separate entity, right, from the operating the opco, right, and approach the DAO and ask if they can get any funding to make any shortfalls or to fix anything. And that's why we built it. Is that not just for the community to have some safety, but also for the whoever's takes the reins, or even us if we're the ones doing it, to be able to approach and get some sort of help from our community.
All right. Yeah, I mean, that's actually very important that you do that. Everyone that's listening, please understand that our friends here have good connections, have good people around them, and they're able to grasp the whole spectrum of potential exploits. I mean, you openly said everything that's necessary for people to understand, especially also with the price oracles and flash loan attacks. So I'm very happy that you said it from your side, because usually people forget that, hey, yes, it's amazing. There's amazing protocols and products out there, but there's always a way of getting exploited. And paired with the insurance fund, you provide a little bit more security and allow people to sleep better at night and not think about, okay, will this be up and running tomorrow? So this is very important, and I appreciate your words on that side. So one thing, maybe just to continue with one more question that I have, and then you can maybe dig deeper into any topic you want, is, I mean, you guys know your stuff. You know what you build something very innovative, and at the same time, um, you have a knowledge in DeFi. And when we're looking at the future of DeFi, how do you think NFA Labs will contribute? I'm not talking about the product side, but more like, how do you think, like with your vision and mission, you will shape the future of DeFi a bit? This is more personal for you too, also to give our listeners a bit more insights on that.
Well, I guess I'll start. But yeah, for with me, I could kind of go back. I like to kind of tell a story of why I created this, and I did pretty well during the bull run, and I never really took vacations, and one day finally took a vacation. I was always looking at the charts and always worried about what was going on with my wallet. And one day I finally went, okay, like, I'm on vacation, I'm on the beach, I'm in Jamaica, like I should just, let me leave my computer and stuff inside. And I go in and I come back out and I I check my wallet later that night and I've lost six figures. Right. And other than that, I've been a part, invested in certain products and they rugged. You lost a lot of money. Things like this kept happening. And then you have I don't really do centralized exchanges, so I didn't really have to deal with losing anything on a centralized exchange. But you still get the fallout from the price action that happens that you don't expect. And I really, really did not like the fact that I could not kind of hedge myself properly and effectively and easily, right, while still staying within the DeFi space. And so I think that my hope is that this model and the way that we are trying to do things becomes a little bit, we get some sort of traction with other project teams that are maybe not even formed, or they're listening right now. Someone's listening and saying, I can do that better. I want people out there to look at us and go, I want to do this and I want to do this better. Because if there are more projects like us, our space will be a lot more attractive for outside investors. If we accomplish everything that we're trying to do here, and another project does the same thing, and another project, and suddenly there's insurance everywhere, your grandma would buy cryptocurrency, right? And so we hope that we're starting something bigger and getting the ball rolling by first going for fresh ideas, looking for needs within the industry, and stringing together utility in a way that is effective for our holders.
That was perfectly described. Thank you for that. Reality, now up to you. What do you want to add? Let's see how you envision it. It's a bit hard, I know.
To be fair, I was actually gonna I was trying to poke Bumper to tell that story, how this all became, how it all became a thing, because even now, I mean, I am actually almost the person sitting on the beach in Jamaica, except I am currently traveling around. And the problem is, I'm always checking my phone, and where am I at? And 100 times a day, at least. I think if I had one of those things on which I do on my phone, I'm scared to look at it as how many times you've unlocked your phone and look at where you're sitting. Has things gone up or down, or have I lost money? Or um, I'd probably be shocked by it, to be honest. But I think Bumper Story is exactly on the money. I mean, this space is scary. How do we change that space? What do we do to make it less scary? How do you actually go and enjoy yourself? I often think to myself, how could I have 2 weeks off? Yeah, I was watching this thing today, and this is slightly on but off topic, and it's the race across the world, where they actually give their phone to the guy, and they give their wallet and everything like that. And I had massive anxiety just thinking, how would I do that? You know, how could I actually hand my phone over for a month? Could anybody in crypto do that? I mean, really? It's a scary thought. I mean, we live on this, and this is the kind of space we're in. I was thinking to myself, would I have to sell everything that I've got because I'd be way too worried that I'd be, at a loss? Or could I take that risk that I'm going to be at a win in 4 weeks' time? And, I mean, you wake up in the morning, you check your phone, don't you? You've got investments going on, you check your phone, you check your computer. Where am I at? Um, you know, uh, and how do we change that space? And I think to summarize what Bumper said and the reason why this was created and everything like that, to be able to have that peace of mind that you can put your money somewhere and someone else is doing the work for you. Your capital is not at risk as such. I mean, there's always a risk in everything, don't get me wrong. But you know anyone that's investing in this space is in the same mindset as I am, and the same mindset as everyone else. It's very difficult to, um, to live a normal life and then still invest, and know that it's safe. So for me, that's why I think what we're creating is changing how people think and how people approach cryptocurrency, and be able to safely, if I could take all of my investments away, because of course we're all degens at the end of the day, or most of us are, and we don't all go on centralized exchanges. And I want to put some money into some project that someone said, this is what's going to be the next 100x. And yet, I'm consistently stressed about, is it going to make me money? Is it not? Would I sell everything and just put all my money into one thing that I know is going to essentially make me profits? I mean, sure, that's probably what I would do. I
Don't
wish,
do that.
yeah,
Don't
diversify,
do
right?
it.
But the point I'm trying to make here is, if you could have one project that you could have some kind of reliability on, that is going to bring you in profits, like a hedge fund or something, which is essentially what we're doing, then that is essentially what I would do if I was going to spend my 4 weeks off my phone. I hope that it kind of answers the question, but
I hate
um,
that you're traveling so much.
yeah.
I
So for
can't wait to do
all of
vacation.
those
I
that
can't
don't
wait.
know, I do work a lot actually,
He does. He does.
I
but I
believe that definitely.
But
But
but I
he
do,
works from cool places, very cool
yeah,
places.
but
that's
I do
the thing.
travel.
I
Australians,
think
man.
Bomba, you should also move around a bit.
I need to. I needed to go touch ground, you know. So that's the
That's
once
grass, man.
once we're done, getting some of this out, I will be away a little bit, which will be nice. But one thing I
Yeah,
just wanted to kind of say also, maybe it's better to give a quick soundbite, because we both told stories, and it's a big emotional connection for us too, why we're doing this and why we do these long hours, and go the opposite direction that society kind of tells you to go. And one thing I would say is that if I would, I'm old one day and I'm looking back, and people are still using cryptocurrency, and they have their wallets, and within their wallets they have three things. They have their the stable coins, they have their projects that they're long on, and they have a little bit of a project that is able to make uh, yield on ups and downs in the market like we do. And that is something that was within our medium that I think a lot of people really took a liking to, and we had tons of views on this thing. And it was because of this. It's this is essentially what the institutions and the banks and hedge funds that invest in crypto are able to do every single time we go through a bear cycle and come back. There are more quote unquote whales. These are not whales, these are institutions, and they're because they're able to make money when the price goes down. And I think that everyone should have the opportunity to do that. So having a little bit of a token like ourselves that is able to do that, or any other token that is able to make money as the price goes down, I think would be make a fulsome portfolio, and that aligns with general portfolio theory. So that's that. I think that's a summary of both of ours there.
Yeah, I mean, you summed it up perfectly because you connected the dots and you also explained. It sounded like a final statement to me, but I don't want to wrap it up yet. If you have anything you want to show us, or anything else that you would like to showcase, please feel free. If not, what I want is from each one of you a final statement to everyone that's listening. I mean, Bamba, you already made your case clear, but maybe as an addition, and then we can wrap it up.
I think we need to talk about.
Yeah, I didn't know I sounded that finite, man. I
Did
got
actually.
to.
It was like you were on your way out.
I know, right? And just like walking the microphone, walking away from the microphone.
I think we were getting quite deep, to be fair.
Yeah, go ahead, reality, and then we'll jump in. Maybe we talk. I think you want to talk about Hecate a little bit, right?
Yeah, Hecate is in our mind it's a game changer because as a degen, which is how I personally got into this industry. Someone told me to buy Dogecoin, which at that point was at its high, and now I've learned if someone says to you, buy this, that's the time to sell. But you learn this stuff, yeah. I think that was in September 2021. That was my introduction to this. And I to this day, when I see him next, I'm going to thank him for bringing me into this industry because it's the best decision I've ever made. Best and worst in some ways, but the best because it's changed my life for crypto. Getting deep about it, but the reason is I've lost a lot of money on crypto. If you're in crypto and you haven't lost money, then you're probably one of the luckiest people on the planet. Um, and you've probably started in the bull run and then you left at the end of the bull run.
I
Uh,
agree.
However, I didn't. Yeah, I have an extreme resilience, and my one quote in life is persistence conquers resistance, and I will not be beaten by anything. If you try and beat me down, I'm just going to keep trying and trying and trying to beat it. But that leads me into Hecate. Now, Hecate is essentially a degen insurance. This is another element, and that is something that wasn't originally introduced into NFAi because, of course, we're full of surprises. We have Athena, and we have, of course, Canis, and now we have this thing called Hecate. Hecate, of course, is another Greek god, goddess. But the reason for Hecate is to give anybody that holds a certain token, in our case, NFAi. So you hold NFAi. Now, you only have to hold a little bit of NFAi, but you want to play the degen market, okay? Otherwise known as the shitcoin market, or you get hacked or something like this. Now, if you get rugged, we've all been there, okay? As I say, if you haven't been there and you're listening to this, then you probably haven't invested in anything as yet. However, I encourage you to go and get rugged. No, I don't really, but um, it's gonna happen to you. But if this happens to you and you own some NFAi, and this goes back to what Bumble was saying initially, if you have three things in your wallet, a stable and a long and NFAi, The reason you have that in there is because you want some security that if you do go and become rugged, or you do go and get hacked for some reason, then you want something back. Yeah. I've still got money sitting in wallets that I can't claim, and I watch it go up in value in things because whatever, but I cannot ever get it back. And it's heartbreaking because that's my money, but there is zero way of getting it back. So, how do I get it back? Well, if I were to be covered by a degen insurance, in this instance, it's called Hecate. Now, Hecate will give you an option to get some money back. Yeah. So I get rugged. I own NFAi. I've staked my NFAi, which is how I become essentially I get an entry into Hecate. I go, righto, I've been racked. Um, how I go into the DAO, into our platform, or whatever the base is of doing so, and I put in a claim to the NFAI DAO. DAO is of course holders of NFAI, and the money that's created from our ecosystem is essentially put in there as some kind of insurance. All of this information is obviously based on the spreadsheet as well. I want to get some money back. And as I think it's in Bumba's words, anything is better than zero. Zero is bad. It's a horrible feeling. If I could get a quarter of my money back of something I've been rugged on, I'd feel a lot better than if I've been kicked in the proverbial and had nothing back and just had to swallow my pride, not tell my wife what kind of money I just lost, and move on to something else and try and get my money back. Hecate changes that. It's there to give you that peace of mind that if something happens like that, you can go ahead and claim and put the claim forward, put your argument forward, what's happened, and the DAO will then investigate that and then make a decision collectively to then try and give you some money back for what you've lost as a holder of our token. And that's what Hecate is. It's incredible. It is a game changer in my opinion. And again, it's just one of our parts of the ecosystem. I hope I explained that well enough, Bomba.
Oh yes, yes. What do you think? For did you do it? Did you do a good
Yeah,
job
I
there?
have a I have a question regarding that because I like the part where Bomba said, or Reality, you both said that like everyone has to lose money first in crypto or has been rocked at least once, and now you're bringing out the product exactly for almost 80 or to 90% of the people currently
I'd say
buying
95.
meme coins, maybe yeah, maybe even 95. So you're
Easy.
bringing out the product for almost everyone who's buying and selling meme coins or investing in some idiotic, sorry for that word, Binance Live, but very bad IDOs and stuff. But what I want to understand is, so in that insurance protocol, let's say I have $1,000 worth of NFA tokens, and then I go and say, hey, I invested 5K into a bullshit token, it got rugged. I can prove it. I put my claim up. So then, in that case, the DAO decides what this person gets. It's not a fixed rate. It's just okay. It's a conclusive, like a complete voting on what this claim gets, and this amount that this person gets back, at least as you said, maybe a quarter. I don't know, maybe 5 or 10% of the whole amount. That will be given to the people as in your native token, or are we talking about some of the profit that you made on a protocol? I just want to get the part, like, how do you
Yeah, of
provide
course.
the liquidity for that?
Yeah, of course, of course. And so, if you notice, kind of like when in that very large spreadsheet, that was it was an expense item. We put aside 10% of our net profit to be thrown back into these insurance pools. What kind of the rumor I guess has been getting out is that we've been talking to a lot of different protocols. Z3 was one that we talked to recently. We talked to a couple of meme coins about how we could bring further utility to their ecosystems and to their tokens. And we have been figuring out, okay, there's a way to be able to bootstrap this liquidity, this revenue, And again, it will be released in our white paper. But it turns Hecate into a revenue driver as opposed to an expense item. And but this is not; they will not be provided NFAi tokens. There are no tokens to buy to get. We are that's it. We're closed. No, I'm kidding. But when it comes to the actual revenue, it's going to be in stable or ETH, depending on how we are able, what trading platforms we're in, what DAO decisions there are, blah blah blah. But it would be one of those two. And so the idea with this, again, game theory again, if you have a community of individuals that um, they're motivated to, of course, they'll be motivated, of course, to process claims, but they're also motivated to give claims to only those who deserve it because they'll be stingy. And that is basically how we get around the complicated nature of underwriting any sort of insurance. It's just human nature. They're going to be very, very stringent and dive very, very deeply and have very, very stringent rules in how things are going to be submitted. But getting that claim processed is the math works in that you have a maximum claim based on the proportion of tokens that are in the pool compared to everyone else. So if the protocol is 100,000 and you have 5% of 5% of the tokens in the staking pool, you've got a claim to a max of 5%. Now, you approach the DAO, you can go for your max, but they can counter with something else. And any amount that, if you accept the claim that is lower than your max and take it, the delta, the remainder, is used to buy and burn our NFAi tokens. That motivates the community to actually process claims.
Yeah.
Game
And to
theory.
actually
Love it.
vote on the claims because
Exactly.
it helps the NFAi token to grow again. Again, another utility, everyone. Listen closely because that was very important
They shouldn't
for
have let
me also to
economists into
understand.
fucking DeFi.
Let's go. No, that's great. I mean, the one thing that I still have a little bit of worries is what if the community always says, let's say we have a whale, right? 100K dollars in NFAi, and he locks that, or she, and or whatever. No offense to anyone. And then he loses 100K on another protocol, and the whole insurance pool is 200K. So with his 100K as a 50% share, so he should be able to get, he would have a very high amount in that insurance protocol.
Correct.
What I want to, elaborate or understand a bit more is, wouldn't the DAO always be incentivized to lowball the claims and then just use that for the buybacks? Just for
That's the
me to
point.
understand.
That's the absolute point. As I said, anything's better than zero.
Yeah.
So if you are in a dire situation, you'll accept 75%, right?
Yeah,
You wouldn't really blink an eye. You'd take 75%.
that's true.
And so it really weeds out people that aren't actually in need of the claim, right? And balances it with a scrutiny of the community.
I like this idea a lot, by the way. It's how can I say it in a nice way? It's very well thought. It has a bit of a shade on it, but I like it because the
We are
community
degens at heart.
decides. Real degens. No,
You
I
don't
love.
need to say it in a nice way, Farouk. Just say it as it is.
I'm not sure with the guidelines of Binance Live if there's some
Oh yeah,
words
of course, of
we're
course.
not
I forgot.
allowed. That's why.
Sorry,
Otherwise, I
Binance.
would have said.
Sorry, CZ.
Sorry, CZ.
Sorry, CZ. No, no, that's fine. That's good. Anything else you want to touch base on that we missed? I mean, that part I think we covered very well, and it's very easy to understand.
Um, I think we've done pretty well actually. I mean, we've covered a lot. We spoke about Athena, we spoke about Canis, we spoke about Hecate and the whole entire ecosystem. We spoke also about the calculator, which I think is an important thing. Um, and as I said originally, the most important thing for someone listening is why should you buy NFAi? Why should you invest in the token and what's in it for you? If I were selling you something, which is essentially not what I'm trying to do, but if I was, I would tell you this. If you're investing in what we are putting together, you are investing in something at the ground level as it is at the moment. We are we've just started introducing Athena, and we're starting to up the ante on the first version of that. We're tapping into Canis, which is an $8 to $9 billion ecosystem for lending, which is humongous. And on top of that, we're creating a thing called Hecate, which you've just heard a lot about, which is essentially an insurance for degen and for rugs and hacks and things like that.
And
We're
let's
introducing
one before you go on. Just also want to mention, if we're talking numbers and market size, the hedge fund industry, trillions, and
trillions,
how many DeFi hedge funds are there?
0,
Us.
1, yeah, 0 others. Um, so, why should you invest? Well, that's your decision at the end of the day. We don't give financial advice, hence the name, not financial advice. Which is kind of a cool pun, and I think it's the best name in history, to be honest. But you should really dig in, and if you do have any questions, you should jump onto our Telegram. Any of us will answer. In fact, the community we have there are so knowledgeable because most of them listen to every single AMA that we have, and we've got some guys in there that have been there since day one, who know a lot of answers on everything. Um, just go and ask them. But should you put your money in here? That's your decision completely. But we are producing something that is second to nothing else on the market. Nobody else is doing what we are doing. There is no ecosystem like it. And it is the ground level. We're tapping into big, 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 big markets. We're creating a decentralized hedge fund, which you can benefit from simply by holding a token. We're creating the supply squeeze. We're creating the profit and paying back to the stakers in Ethereum or a stable coin. And all you need to do is go and enjoy your time on the beach and not have to worry about whether or not you're going to be rugged. And if you do get rugged and you have got a little bit staked, then guess what? You've got an option to claim that back. That would be my last thing to say.
You made a good statement for the beach because I think out of you two, you're the one enjoying a little bit more beach time.
Yep,
Not
just
yet. Not
today
yet.
also.
Not yet.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine. Maybe Bumba, you also want to do a final closing statement, maybe?
Yeah, I think I'd just like to take the time to thank our community. We are nothing without them, and you know, pretty small. I think we're sitting at 1,700 holders, and we're at 1,700 holders, almost at 30 mil. And we just wanted to thank them for, we always say we want your minds, not your wallets, but we thank them for giving both, and for being around and helping us get better, and advising us and supporting us and cheering us up or making us laugh. And just wanted to say thank you to those guys, and thanks to all the robots, and thanks to all of our, our colleagues at the other projects that have supported and helped us too along our way. And yeah, that's all.
All right, with these words, I want to say thank you to you both because you actually did a great job. I have to say, you explained everything in a way that we didn't have to make it easier. It was already explained in a very easy way, very sophisticated. You gave a holistic approach. Everyone that's been listening, I hope they understood. And if not, feel free, join their groups, follow them on Twitter, DM me, and I'll guide you also. That's not a problem at all. And I hope that we'll see us again very soon, or or later, depends when you launch the lending protocol, because that's aside from Athena, of course, that's my personal how can I say? There I see the most scalability, to be honest, because it will supply the ecosystem fully. So thank you guys for joining tonight or
Thank you.
today
Thank you. It
afternoon.
was an absolute pleasure.
And
Definitely.
yeah, I wish you all a great day. And to our listeners, thank you for joining. As always, you see, we're always transparent, challenging. It's not just when marketing, when Moon, when Lambo. We don't care about that. There's real builders here that want to grow within the ecosystem, and that's always our goal. That's also my goal in helping everyone that really wants to develop something great for the future. So everyone have a good one, and thank you again.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Farouk. You're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Farouk. Take care.
Bye bye. Thank you. Bye bye.